Hello, everybody. Hopefully, my internet's awesome. Uh, I'm Libby Lee, and I want to talk today about burnout in business. So, who has been there? I have absolutely. And what I find is that when I'm working with clients or I'm having conversations with people who are energy healers, intuitive coaches, and they're really creating that beautiful impact in the world, and they're here to help humanity, and they love their mission so much that they work and work and give and give. And that doesn't always serve us and our physical body and our experience. It can actually sometimes take us off track. So, have you ever been in that position where you feel like, well, my calendar is full, I have no space to bring things back to me, to keep checking in that I'm in alignment? I feel like, particularly as we hit this busy time of year, you might feel like you've got to compromise between fulfilling your mission because you feel so drawn into your mission, and your family time, your relationships, and the harmony in that side of life as well. Because there's so many balls in the air, we feel like if we drop one, then we drop our income. If we drop another one, then we drop relationships and they go off track. Like, there is this real dynamic of, am I doing enough? Am I holding it together enough? Am I helping my people enough? Am I being enough in my life as a wife and as a mum and as a daughter and as a friend and as a mentor and as a teacher? Am I doing enough? And I just want to share that you are absolutely doing more than enough. And when we can just take a moment to come back into alignment with our true purpose, our higher purpose, what you are here to share in the world, when we can come back to that place and we just take one action on those things every day, you are fulfilling your purpose 100%. And when we check in of, what action needs to happen today, and you listen to those nudges and those whispers, pardon me, then we feel that pull of what's next. And we know that it is truly in alignment with where we are and what we're doing and what we're creating. So, on one hand, that's one thing that I want to share today is, on one hand, you might have that amazing hustling, bustling, healing business where you are helping client after client, and you're running retreats and you're doing workshops or whatever it might be, and you're kind of like, okay, where's the space for me to take a breath? And we can get caught up in the measuring of success based on all of those external factors of, how much reach am I getting on Facebook, and what's the balance of my profit and loss sheet at the end of the month or the end of the quarter or the end of the year, and is my email list expanding, and how many people am I reaching with everything that I'm putting out? And it can get so overwhelming, because we're measuring it by all of those factors and completely ignoring the fact that we are here for that higher purpose, the fact that you have a mission here to create ripple effects across the globe, to change lives across the globe, to express your higher purpose. Because we do get stuck in the measuring. And, with that measuring comes control. And, it's like things are black and white. Well, if this has to succeed, then I have to sacrifice something here. And the compromise is real if you allow it to be. So I found myself in deep burnout. And to a point where I went to a practitioner, and they were just like, you're on the edge of, just my whole nervous system was just absolutely fried. And it was in that period of time when I was in the hustle and grind, and I know most of you know that feeling, like when you're really motivated and and drawn to, pulled by purpose, then you want to do it day and night, and you're happy to burn the candle at both ends until you can't anymore. And that's what I found. I couldn't anymore. But there was so much, I was wound up so tight that, I felt like I was failing. If I wasn't working my ass off, I felt like I was failing. So there was this deep fear, and I remember having a conversation with my husband, and I said, I just feel like there's so much more that I'm here to do. Have you had that feeling where you're like, there's so much more for me to do in this life. There's more people to help. And, I'm not just here to work my 9 to 5 in a hospital. And, like it was deeper. And he was like, well, volunteer at the school canteen. And I was like, it's so much more than that. Like, it's not just an expression of giving my time. I had change to make and to help people make. So that I actually felt quite misunderstood. And if you feel that, I just want to know, I want to express that I know how you feel. I know what it's like to have that deep desire and not know how or where to express it, or to feel like fully expressing that comes at a compromise or a sacrifice in another area of your life, because I want you to know that you can have it all. You can have it all without the burnout, without the suffering. So once I really tuned in and got to a point where I started to think, okay, well, I'm feeling unfulfilled. What what do I want to do? What do I want to do instead? And I started down a path of, the mentors and the teachers appear, right? When you start to align with that energy of like, I'm ready for that next expansion. And I remember having that little bit of fear come up of like, what if I actually can have it all? What if what if I can 100% fully express myself and my purpose and help impact the world? There was a lot of fear, and I can still feel a little edge of that fear there now, even, because if you think about that, and we are here fully expressing our higher purpose and 100% creating those ripple effects in the world for that big vision that you've got. If you actually do that, then there's no obstacles. There's no uh, there's nothing to measure it by other than you. And there was some fear around like, well, there's no crutch. There's nothing else I can give a reason. The fear of failure and fear of success was really rising to the surface, because it's like, well, if I lean in 100%, there is no stopping me. And there is no one else to blame if it all falls over. Who can relate to that, right? So what I realized though is when I could truly lean in, when I got to that point of like, I have no choice but to follow this. Life just doesn't feel the same now that I've kind of, you can't unsee things that you've seen. Now that I've had that little glimpse of what's possible, I've had that glimpse of the more. That is when I was like, well, I can't unsee it. I know it's there now. And I know that there is so much more that's possible, and I can't turn back. I can't undo it. So I surrendered. And it was a bit of a running joke, actually. For a while, we would have like weekly sessions where I'd invite in different mediums and readers, and Jody would show up. I think it was on a Monday night, and she'd pull cards for people for hours, and we just loved it. It was a beautiful community, and she'd pull cards, and every single time I just kept getting the trust card, and she'd get the intuitive nudges of trust. And so once I finally did just say, okay, I get it, I hear you, I'm going to trust and I'm going to surrender, then the ease and the grace came. Then the flow returned. Then I didn't feel like I had to control everything and I didn't have to do the hustle and grind. I could actually, like I spoke of last week, I could dive into my rhythm and stay in alignment. And I could I could harness that rhythm and give myself a little bit, hey, Kels, and give myself a bit of a break, give myself permission to have the ebbs and flows because we can't hustle and grind all the time. It will absolutely lead you to burnout. So, what I want to leave you with today is it might have come up for you already in this conversation when I'm talking about the burnout, the hustle and grind, and the ease and flow, when I talk about your big vision and your desires and what you're creating in the world, how does it feel in your body? Because the golden nugget and the gift that our body gives us is the fact that it's our antenna, it's our communication system, and it's always telling us whether we are in harmony or whether we're in suffering. So the best gift that you can give yourself is tune in and just allow your body to speak to you. Allow your body to tell you if it's constricting, if you're thinking about some, okay, my one-on-one calendar is really full. This is what happens a lot. As a healer or a coach, you get really, really full with your one-on-ones and you're not quite sure on how to shift over and start doing workshops or group programs or memberships. So when you actually look over this way and go, okay, maybe I can help more people compared to just the one-on-ones, and you think about hosting a workshop, what happens in your body? So usually a constriction will happen if there's some fear and there's a bit of an anchor holding us. It might be back to past trauma. It could be back to some beliefs that we can bring to the surface and shift. But just noticing that constriction and being grateful for it. Thank you for showing me that I've got a bit of a limit here. I'm up against an edge and I actually want to get to that edge and I want to take the leap beyond. So when you feel that constriction, just ask, like, what is this? What is this? And one of my favorite questions is, I ask it all the time, particularly with my kids, is this really true? Because what you'll find is it'll be when you say, what is this? It might be like, oh, I'm feeling a bit scared. I'm feeling a bit scared with the fact that I might have 20 people show up or I might have 50 people show up and I'm not sure that I'm ready. You go, okay, is that really true? If you might be feeling not ready, but if the universe brings you 20 or 50 people or 100 people or 200 people, chances are you're ready and it's a really good growth moment. So leaning into that fear of that constriction, and when we just give it a little bit of airtime, when we just sit with it and allow it to be seen, it will start to move in your body and it will help move through so that you can move into expansion rather than constriction. So that's like my golden nugget when I'm in a new situation, when I'm thinking about something that I'm creating, or even if I'm talking with a potential new client, I'll be feeling into my body all the time of like, does this feel expansive and like, okay, this is a next level, has higher purpose behind it, or am I feeling constricted because it's either a fear that I've got or a belief that I've got, or it's something that's not in alignment with my path. And every time, the body doesn't lie. It will always steer you true, and it's helping you all the time. So if you have been on that edge of burnout and you're willing to give yourself permission to drop that workaholic, drop the hustle and grind, and know that you can have it all, the possibilities are limitless. You can have it all. So when you allow yourself to lean into that, allow in the ease and grace that comes with it as well. So I'd love to invite you guys into the Abundant Healers Hub, the online community. I've popped the link above there. Come in and say hello. I'm going to share more and more of my insights in there as well. And if you know somebody who has been on that edge of burnout and in the hustle and grind of business, and they need to embrace a bit more flow and to learn their rhythm, maybe I'll tag last week's conversation in here as well. You can find your own rhythm. You already intuitively know it. I can help you find it too, but you already know it. And I'll link it back to that. But share this out if you know somebody who feels like success in business comes at a cost, comes at a sacrifice, comes at a compromise. Then I want to help harmonize that for you. So have a beautiful week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Come on into the Abundant Healers Hub and I will see you in there. Bye.